Script, and only 60 seconds remain. God says, I am angry. This is your last warning. Do not put me. God is angry with you. I will not show this on your screen again. Do not try to test my patience. Open this in less than 20 seconds, or you will assume total responsibility for what is about to happen. Do not skip this, my dear son. In this moment, hold your breath and listen to me, because you know deep down that this message was never intended to arrive twice. You felt it, that sudden weight in the chest when the screen flashed, that voice in the head saying to stay until the end. Something you have been ignoring is about to appear before you. Beloved, you have no idea how close you were to losing this moment. You silently ignored many signs. Every night you could not sleep, every sudden fear, every strange sensation that someone observes what you do, every tug on the instinct that made no sense, but would not go away. All were intended to warn. God is no longer whispering. He no longer knocks softly on the conscience. He is speaking directly, clearly, and firmly. Write I stay in the comments if you feel this shift in the spirit right now. This is the first step to show heaven that you are ready for the revelation that is about to happen. Pay close attention, beloved. What I am going to say will explain why this message feels heavier than any other you have ever heard. God is not angry because you failed. He is not angry because you have flaws. He is angry because you continued letting the same person, the same error, the same habit, the same temptation pull you away from the path He traced for you. You were already told not to trust this person. You had dreams. You saw signs. You felt sudden pain. You lost things you did not expect to lose. You felt your chest tighten every time you tried to explain. Still, you stayed. Still, you returned. The red flags did not bother you. And you know what is worse? You knew it was wrong. Inside you knew, but you chose comfort over obedience. You chose the familiar over the sacred. And each time you made that choice, the door of destiny became a little harder to open. Now something that should have been removed from your destiny is trying to return. Stronger, more dangerous than before. That is why this message is flashing one last time. That is why you need to stay until the end. There is something enormous and life-changing standing right in front of the door of your destiny. If you make a mistake or ignore a warning, everything you built could crumble. A shadow has been following you, acting as if it were harmless and normal, but heaven never believed that. This presence tires you, slows you down, takes your attention, diverts you from the path you should take, makes you question things that were once clear, makes you doubt yourself when you should be firm, makes you feel small when heaven sees you as great. And the voice of God is sharp right now because you continued letting this presence stay close. Because every time you felt weak, this shadow seemed comfortable. It seemed familiar. It even seemed loving. But it was not love. It was dependency. And dependency disguised as love is the oldest trap there is. There was a shift around you just when you began to feel emotionally drained for no reason. This was not by chance. It was not coincidence. It was God withdrawing patience with a relationship, a habit, or a pattern that you are not willing to break. You have been giving energy to someone who does not give it back. This person smiles when you are weak and stays silent when you need help, appears when they need something and disappears when you are the one who needs, celebrates your victories with their mouth, but deep down roots for them not to happen again. And you felt this, you felt it several times, but you pretended it was not true because the pain of losing this person seemed greater than the pain of keeping them. God is not angry with you. He is angry at what they do to you. This message is His way of making you leave before something happens that cannot be fixed. And it is exactly at this point that spiritual understanding makes all the difference. Because feeling that something is wrong is one thing, but understanding why certain presences drain your energy, why certain patterns repeat, why certain people appear precisely when you are about to advance, that requires depth. And without this depth, the cycle returns. That was why I prepared the powerful digital book for you, called How to Know If God Will Save You at the Final Judgment. This material was made for those who are at the exact moment when God reveals what was hidden, and the old cycles try to return with force. Inside it are truths that function as a spiritual shield, allowing you to see what previously seemed normal but was actually a trap. You will understand why certain blocks existed, why certain people had so much power over your energy, and how to definitively break the cycle that should have ended a long time ago. People who accessed it told me that for the first time, they understood why they always returned to the same point, and for the first time they managed to get out. The link is in the description of the video and pinned at the top of the comments. If something inside you confirms that this is for you, do not delay. Access now. Now let us go deeper, because God has not yet finished speaking. Beloved, you are being protected from something that seems familiar, but has consequences you cannot see. Something that hurt you before is trying to return in a different form. A call, a message, an apology, a sudden memory. All planned. The door is being held by heaven. But heaven can only hold it for a time if you open it from the inside. The person who wants to return does not seek your heart. They seek what your heart produces. They miss the peace, the love, the attention, the energy, the support, and the stability that you give. They miss the person they could be by your side, not the person they did not value. This person is afraid because your life has finally changed. Blessings are on the way. Destiny is beginning a new chapter. They are afraid of being left behind. They are afraid you will rise without them. They are afraid of losing control over you. This is the reason why they return. It is not longing, it is strategy. It is not regret, it is calculation. And heaven saw every step of this plan even before they took the first. Some people would never forgive you the way you forgive them. People who would never wait for you continue to make you wait. You continue giving second opportunities to people who would not give you one. And this person, this feeling of familiarity, needs you to be soft. It depends on the part of you that always finds the good in people, even when the good was not there. This part is being used against you. This generosity that should be a virtue became an entry point. This loyalty that should be strength became a chain. And heaven can no longer stand to see you give pearls to those who only know how to trample. But heaven recognizes deeper reasons. Heaven hears what they say behind your back. Heaven reads the thoughts behind the words, and heaven tells you, this is your moment to make your own decisions. This is what makes God angry. It is not for failures. He is angry at how little you value yourself. You continue letting in people who drain you. People who wasted the first chance continue receiving second chances. You continue placing trust in hearts that did not deserve it. And right now, someone who looks, speaks, and lies, like someone you know is trying to return, to take what is not theirs. The truth is that this person was removed from your life by God once, but they are confident they can return because your heart is soft. You forgive too easily. You believe people can change. Heaven tells you that this time they are not trying to do right. If this channel is being an instrument of heaven in your life, subscribe now. Press the bell. Like this video as a spiritual seal, and share with someone who needs to hear before the cycle repeats. Because when you carry the word forward, the protection does not diminish, it multiplies. And now, the part that seals everything. A huge secret is about to come to light. Heaven waited for the right moment to reveal it. Someone with a mask is about to enter your life, and heaven will not let you fall into this again. And this mask is not obvious. It is not a gross lie that anyone would perceive. It is subtle, made of beautiful gestures and right words at the exact moment, made of strategic presence and calculated absence, made to seem exactly like what you need. But underneath there is nothing, only hunger, only interest, only the need to consume what you produce without ever planting anything in return. At this exact moment there is a miracle in your life that looks like a problem. Yes, disguised. You prayed for clarity, but instead something became complicated. It is not an error. It is the ground shaking to make room for something new. Some storms do not come to destroy. They appear to clear the path. And what comes after the storm is so good that you will understand why the ground needed to shake, why certain things needed to undo themselves, why certain people needed to leave. It was not punishment, it was repositioning. Heaven was moving pieces so that the blessing could land without being destroyed by what was in the way. And the hardest thing to accept is that some of the pieces that needed to be removed had the face of someone you loved. Listen carefully. When the old energy tries to push back, destiny is uniting. Everything that has to do with destiny is changing in heaven. You are about to open doors that were previously closed. Things that seemed impossible are about to disappear as an obstacle, and the path that seemed difficult is about to become clear. That is why the old feelings returned. That is why the old people returned. That is why the old habits tried to hold you. But none of that will work this time. The blessing that is coming is not small. It is not something that someone from the past thought they could achieve. This blessing is divine, very rare, and it will change life. It could be changes in finances, in relationships, in opportunities, or even in who you are as a person. There will be peace where there was chaos, clarity where there was confusion, abundance where there was lack, and something that no human effort could produce because it was custom-made in heaven for a soul that survived what should have destroyed it. You survived. And the reward for having survived is not just staying alive, it is prospering in a way that no one expected. That is why someone from the past tries to return. They can feel how high you are rising. They know you are going to receive something great and are trying to get close enough to a blessing that was not for them to get a piece. If you let the old energy in before this blessing arrives, you could delay or even lose it. That is why the voice of God sounds strong. That is why this warning is the last. The energy that held you before now tries to infiltrate silently, just when destiny prepares to give you an advance. Something that will change life and take you to a superior chapter. The blessing that comes is so strong that it changed the spiritual atmosphere around you. You may have noticed, intuition strengthens, dreams are clearer, emotions change fast, energy feels heavier and lighter at the same time, because everything that has to do with destiny is changing in heaven. It is for this reason that this knowledge needs to be sustained, because without a spiritual foundation, the old energy can infiltrate before the blessing arrives, and everything that heaven prepared can be intercepted by distraction, by nostalgia, or by the false compassion you feel for those who hurt you. That was why I prepared the powerful digital book for you, How to Know If God Will Save You at the Final Judgment. This book is the foundation that protects the blessing that is being released in your life. Inside it are truths that will teach you how to keep the energy clean while destiny manifests, how to recognize the mask of those who try to return, how not to confuse compassion with permission, and how to spiritually sustain the new chapter that is beginning. You will understand why certain patterns repeated and how to break them once and for all. The link is in the description and at the top of the comments. The shield was activated. The blessing is approaching. Do not let the old energy close what heaven opened. Now what you need to do. You need to stop allowing the past to affect the present and the future. You cannot bring old wounds to a new book. You cannot bring old memories to something good and new. You cannot let old habits prevent you from receiving what is legitimately yours. You need to let go of those who drained you. Let go of the memories that tormented you. Let go of the habits that bound you. Let go of the part of you that accepted less than you deserved. When your advance triggers, it will not be noisy. There will be no fireworks or grand announcements. It will happen in a way so quiet that it is almost too silent. Some things in life will begin to change on their own. Confusion goes away. A heavy load leaves suddenly. The person who caused the problem moves away suddenly. Luck appears where before there was none, and you will realize that the silencing was not emptiness, it was gestation, and what was born in this silence will be greater than anything the noise of the past promised. Just before everything changes, the spirit will feel a deep peace that you cannot explain, not stress or emotion, peace, and a strong sense that things are working in the best way, like the calm before a divine storm of good things. First, you will feel lighter inside, as if a weight you carried for years simply fell. Then something exterior changes, an opportunity, a message, a door opening where before you only saw walls. And finally, something spiritual aligns. You will feel secure, guided and sustained in ways you did not expect. Heaven does not expect you to be perfect. It expects you to be prepared. In the next 7 days, pay close attention to what simply disappears. This is divine pruning. When God takes something away, it always hurts at the beginning, and in the end it makes sense. Let it go. The friendship that ends, the person who moves away, the opportunity that fades. It is not rejection, it is positioning. Palaces are not built on unstable ground, and your foundations are being strengthened right now. Believe in the pruning. because the ascension comes after it. And what is pruned is not missed when what was planted finally flourishes. The restoration that comes is not just recovering what was lost, something better, more substantial, unexpected. Sometimes it looks like a favor. Sometimes it looks like money that simply appears. Sometimes it looks like people returning and asking for forgiveness. Sometimes it looks like a door opening in a place where you had never knocked. But the most beautiful restoration of all will be a peace that does not disappear, a security in yourself that is not shaken, a joy that does not come from outside, a clarity that does not need confirmation from anyone, a sense of purpose that finally makes sense after years of confusion. Soon you will wake up and realize, I am no longer afraid. Finally, I am complete again, and no one will be able to touch that, because this completeness did not come from outside. It came from the deepest place within, there where God was always waiting for you to return. Now the prayer. Do not listen as just another part of the video. Receive it as the most sacred moment of this night, as if God Himself were standing before you with open arms and eyes full of fire and love, while each word is pronounced over your life. Father, look upon your son. Look upon your daughter who carried an invisible weight that no one saw. Look at the nights when they cried alone, asking, God, do you still care about me? Look at the times they smiled on the outside while crumbling on the inside. Look at the cycles that repeated until exhaustion. Look at the people who returned with a smile and left with pieces of the heart. Look at the part of me that accepted less than I deserved because I was afraid of being alone. Look at the belief that was planted in childhood saying I was not enough. Look at the fatigue of pretending everything was fine when inside I was crumbling. Look at the times I gave a second chance to those who did not deserve the first. Look at the shadow that followed me for so long pretending to be light. This night, Father, the truth came to light. What was hidden was revealed. What held back was cut. The mask was torn away. The cycle that repeated in silence, generation after generation, ends here and now. Father, you are angry for me, not at me. You are angry at those who used me, at those who smiled while draining me, at those who returned not for love but for convenience. You are angry at the pattern that bound me. And this night, your fire burns everything that is not yours in my path. Return what was blocked for years. Return the health that was drained by those who exhausted me. Return the peace that was stolen by sleepless nights. Return the relationships that were sabotaged by those who did not want this child to grow. Return the confidence that was destroyed by those who should have cared. Return the joy that dried up without explanation. Return the identity that was hidden under layers of survival. Return the voice that was silenced by those who were afraid of what I would say if I finally spoke. Close the door to all old energy that tries to infiltrate. Seal this life with your mark, so that every presence that tried to diminish me knows that this temple is now clean, protected, and consecrated. Do not allow nostalgia to deceive me, Eve. Do not allow misdirected compassion to reopen doors that you closed. Do not allow me to confuse familiarity with destiny. May the blessing that is on the way arrive without interference. May the new chapter begin without the shadow of the old. May every door that the enemy tried to lock now open at once. May the dependency disguised as love be cut at the root. May I never again confuse presence with purpose. Amen. Write in the comments, I am ready. My story has been rewritten, not as a pretty phrase, as a spiritual declaration, as the moment when your spirit said yes and the entire heaven recorded it. When you write, you are not proving anything to anyone. You are telling your soul that you will not return to the cycle, that you will not open the door again, that you will not accept less than you deserve, and if during this night you thought of someone who needs to hear this before they make the same mistake, send it. Because when you carry the word forward, the shield multiplies. That was why I prepared the powerful digital book for you, How to Know If God Will Save You at the Final Judgment. This book is the final seal of this night. It is the spiritual complement of everything that God revealed and activated in your life today. Inside it are truths that will protect the new chapter, strengthen discernment to recognize who returns for love and who returns for convenience, and ensure that the old patterns never repeat again, because the mask was torn away. But without knowledge, another can be put on. This book is the post-revelation shield. The link is in the description of the video and pinned at the top of the comments. Access now. The shield was activated. The blessing is in progress. Do not allow the old energy to close what heaven opened. God declares, I will surprise you. I will give you more than you asked, more than you imagined, more than you believed possible. I will convert you into a person that those who hurt you will not recognize. The people who did not believe will see you triumph. Those who tried to hold you back will see you go beyond all expectations, not for revenge, for alignment with heaven. Because the best answer you can give to those who doubted is not a word. It is a transformed life. It is a fulfilled destiny. It is a testimony that speaks for itself without you needing to open your mouth. And this testimony is being written right now. Every line, every chapter, every page, by God Himself. Heaven is transforming you into a person that the people of the past would not recognize. The story that God writes now is not about pain. It is about calling. It was not about survival. It was about the advance. Not about the people who hurt you, about the person you become. Close your eyes now. Feel the heat in the spirit. That is the hand of God upon your shoulder. That is the divine breath filling the lungs with life once again. You are chosen. You are covered. You are loved immensely. And nothing, not the past, nor fear, nor those who tried to hold you back, can tear that away from you. This is the truth that no lie can undo. This is the promise that no cycle can break. This is the word that no mask can reverse. Because when heaven signs something, no force on earth can cancel it. The next 14 days will define the rest of your year. There will be sudden changes, a strange silence, a very rapid ascension, and a great surprise. This is what it looks like when God organizes things, precise, well-planned, without unnecessary noise, without drama, with the surgical exactness of one who has never missed a step. Keep yourself in silence while God works, because the silence this time is not empty. It is strategic. It is the space that heaven needs to finish what it started. Things for which you blamed yourself will no longer describe who you are. People who thought little of you will no longer be able to reach you. The part that survived will finally give way to the part that prospers. Do not look back. God watches over your destiny right now. What He is giving you is ahead, and every tear you shed, every betrayal you lived, every loss you felt, and every time you wondered if God had forgotten you, all of that was preparing you. It was not punishment, it was formation, and the formation has ended. Now begins what you always deserved. Say with your spirit, I am ready, I will not skip this. I believe in divine time, now I walk with heaven. My story has been rewritten, and heaven repeats, we heard you, and we came. The peace of heaven be upon your life, upon your family, and upon every generation that comes after you. Today, tomorrow, and for all eternity. Amen.